Let's get Cody in.
There he is.
Yes, that beard is growing back very nicely. It's getting there. Still a long way to go. But
he's semi-recognizable.
Yeah, just about. I can just about see an outline of how he used to be. If you're on the street, I might be able to recognize you now, I think.
You know, this is the whole idea behind growing the beard, is that whenever I want to commit a heinous crime, I can just completely like, who is that guy? You know, like.
Brilliant. Cody, good to see you, my friend. And look, the West Ham, we got through it just about 2-1. What did you make of the performance in general, and who stood out for you in particular?
Well, I really thought that aside from about a 5-minute lapse of concentration in the first half, we were playing what seemed to be an extension of the strategy and execution of the Liverpool game. We were in complete control of the game. We looked very confident in possession. And Conte has, I mean, you tell me one player at Tottenham Hotspur that Conte hasn't appeared to give more confidence, at the very least. Everyone, you know, he's, you know,
even
like
him.
Well, okay, he's not a car crash, but he's a functioning Seat.
He played better than than before.
Well,
he's a functioning Ford Escort.
He didn't cost us the game. That's pretty good.
There you go.
You know?
Yeah.
But I'm really starting to believe that Antonio Conte is an absolute sorcerer, because there's things happening at Tottenham Hotspur that are not supposed to be happening. You know, like Ariane, who was on a couple of guests ago, he's been waiting 8 years to have his moment. And John Cooper is probably reading Conte's Lucas Moura comments and having a little special moment with himself. You know what I mean? Like,
special moment, you can say he's having a wank.
He's John Cooper's having a wank at that comment, that's for sure. But but then in the second half, like I feel like we kind of took our foot off the gas a little bit, and we were giving up a lot of possession, and you could see our shape. We were still maintaining our shape, but we were just kind of shrinking, and you know.
You think they were gassing in that moment? They were kind of starting to blow like a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, but yeah, we were just kind of inviting that pressure. We were doing so much better. Like one thing Conte's done is he really has improved us against the press, because we're playing out from the back, and you've got our midfielders rather than playing sideways passes, it's either back to the center back or forward. And it's really, like, you could see in the first half, West Ham's press, you know, they were huffing and puffing, and they weren't able to get through to us. And it was the same thing against Liverpool. And then we just didn't have enough of the ball in the second half. But you know, overall, what can you say? You know, we're into the semifinals. I think I actually feel like Chelsea is a good matchup for us. I know that they're probably them and Liverpool are the two best teams remaining in the competition, but I would rather play Chelsea in the semifinal than in the final. You know, because they might have their attention divided with league fixtures. And also, don't underestimate the Conte versus Chelsea effect. You know, Conte is going to be licking his chops to take a shot at Abramovich and the Chelsea Blues. You know, it's probably something that he's been fantasizing about for some time since his acrimonious exit from the club. So I actually think Chelsea is a good fit. I'm not sure if the two legs are going to happen, but you know what? We're going to have to beat good teams to win a trophy. We always are. You're always going to come up against one of the big four. So it's time to take care of business.
We've also shown that against Chelsea at the right, you know, even that first half this season with Nuno in charge, the right press, the right mentality on the ball, we shut them out. We completely closed them out for a whole half. Mm-hmm. Then we went, you know, shit hit the fan. But with Conte's systems, if things are looking like they're not working, like today I was thinking in the first half, if there was a negative, it was that the two midfielders, just having the double pivot left too much space between them, and then that was a way that they could overrun us. Conte sees that, he makes the change. Let's go to 3. Immediately closes it down. Everything becomes more calm.
He's not afraid to take off two goal scorers. And
exactly. That takes some balls to be able to, like, you know, you've got a guy who's got a goal and assist, and He looks like he's flying, and Lucas Moura, who's doing really well. It's like, take him off. He knows if that doesn't go well, say that result doesn't go our way, people are probably going to look at that and go, why did you take those two off? But no, he's like, no, don't worry about that. I'm confident. Change the system now, close it down, see the game out.
What do you think of that change then on the hour, Cody? It was an interesting one, wasn't it?
It was the two players that I wanted to come on. I was thinking this game is calling for a little bit of pace up front, a little bit more energy, and that's what Heung-min Son can bring. And we need to gain a foothold in the midfield. I was a little bit surprised to see Lucas go off, but I think we're going to end up, depending on what we do in the January transfer window, I think we're going to slowly but surely switch to the 3-5-2 just to give us that extra creativity, and we can play that that Kane and Son up top. It's just a question of whether or not both of them are available for some of these games, because with the amount of games that we have to make up here, and we're still in the FA Cup, we're still in the League Cup, there's going to be a lot of fixture congestion here in the next 3 months. So hopefully part of Conte's sorcery is that he has cast a spell over the eyes of Daniel Levy, and he's saying, you will open your wallet, you will spend money in January, you will back me with all the players that I want, because
so you think it's a little bit of incentive now that we're in a semi-final. He's on a 7-game winning streak. Is it 7 or 8? 7 or 8?
We didn't win on Sunday, but we're unbeaten.
Streak, yeah. Like, think good things will happen because we're trusting in Conte. Do you think that he now has, the kind of what you need to turn around and Levy and say, look, everything's going well. Don't be a cunt. Don't be a cunt here. Trust in what we're trying to build.
You know what? I don't care how you get it done. If you have to sell players to generate the funds to go out and get the pieces necessary, Vlahovic is a name that's being tossed around quite a bit. And for me, it's like we should be buying as many players as we can that are of high quality while Conte is here, because we don't know how long he's going to be here. Yeah. And that's a huge aspect of employing a manager of Conte's, esteem, is that players look at that and they say, I want to go play for that guy. Look at how many players have kind of turned their seasons around just in the 6 weeks or 7 weeks since Conte has arrived. Forget the fact that we're in a cup final. Forget the fact that we're still in the FA Cup. He has shown enough in the games that we've played to say, I mean, none of the fans would have questioned his class, but he's shown us enough. Like, this is honestly the first time that I can say in about 2 years that I recognize Tottenham Hotspur, that we're not just hoofing it long and playing defense and playing without confidence and looking like we don't know how to handle the football,
Actually playing football. Do you know what the good thing about Conte is? Well, I was thinking about this the other day. He's actually a coach. So you get managers who just kind of stand up and cross their arms on the pitch and they're kind of playing that paint by number manager role, like what they feel they have to do. He's a coach. You can see he takes pride in taking players in, speaking to them. He wants to see them individually. Give me what you need to give me in training. Give me the extra energy, then give it on the pitch. Like, I need to see your energy from training transfer onto the pitch. That takes a coach. That takes the understanding of a former player to be a coach and to get that out of players. That's what I'm seeing. If I'm honest, we never had it with Nuno, of course. We never had it with Mourinho. I'm sorry, we just didn't.
He was more just like tactically focused. He wasn't focused on improving anyone.
Yeah.
That was it with him. But Conte, that's what his MO is, and we've seen it already in the short space of time how he's improved players, and that's what gets me excited for the future and what level some of these players can maybe reach that we haven't seen yet.
You make a great point as well, Cody, like about we also have to look at these markets as like thinking about the future is like, if say Conte stays for 2 seasons, like we have to pick up great players moving forward. We can't always keep the same players around forever and think they're always going to stay. We need to invest. We need to have. We look at our wings right now. We've got. If Cess is out, we've got one player now who has to play every game. You can't go through a season like that. You look on our right hand side, and you'd probably go, neither of them are really top level wing backs. So we need players there. We need players. If tonight, I think Davies is playing great. He's probably one of the first names on the team sheet every week now. Dyer shows he's got a mistake in him. Sanchez has got a mistake in him. Romero, when he comes back, fine. But then we've had in the season so far, we've had times where we had two, three defenders out, and we were like, what do we do now? We still didn't give Joe Rodon a game, if we're trying to go through a whole season, you can't just be thinking about this season. You got to bring players in to make your squad tough for next season's European leagues, for next season's competitions, for next season's title. I want Spurs to be in a position next season to go for the title. We're struggling to even believe we can win a league trophy, a league cup. We can win this.
Yeah, and I think, look, it's for me, it's about quality over quantity. We can't be taking £70 million and blowing it on 3 players that are going to either be a project or a potential future star. Now is the time for us to buy world-class players
by quality,
to come into the starting 11. And some of the players who are in the starting 11 right now need to become rotation pieces, and some of the current rotation pieces, they need to be sold. That's all there is to it,
Yeah. Tough decisions to make. I fully agree with that.
But maybe with this form, with a lot of these players, there'll be more interest. So that'll be positive, and maybe there'll be offers that they'll come in, and we can think either we can take the offer and rebuild, or if we keep them, they can play to a better level than they're playing before.
I would say be careful about obviously we know that it's a shopping window season now. Like these games are very much players fighting for their life. Their agents are on them to get them to fight for their lives. Obviously, there's more incentive. This is their careers. This is their livelihood to play well. So you expect them to have a burst right now of energy to play good now. But also you have to consider some of these players are kind of like not the youngest. They've been here for a long time. If we get the chance to bring in players like Grilic or, like Vlahovic, players who can come in and they're going to make your club like 50, 60 million when you sell them on. We need to be looking at that. We need to be bringing in big, really class talents who we can then sell on in 5 years' time. If we keep sticking with the players that we have now, even though Dele's he's coming back into form, but is Dele the answer for the next 4 or 5 seasons? Probably not. And that's something to consider as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, if we've got limited funds to spend in January, this is what I want to see. Bring in one game-changing player, one piece that Conte can put in the center of the pitch. Whether it's a quality center back or if it's Dusan Vlahovic, buy quality over quantity. We can deal with the rest in the summer. Go from there.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, Cody. Great to speak to you as always. Great call as always, and we'll speak to you very, very soon. Good to see you, mate.
All right. Glory, glory. Merry Christmas.
Glory, glory.
Yeah,
Have a good Christmas, mate.